tell Asaad to shut up and just show Sarah's shoulders? We did. Look, they're right there. Okay, all right, here we go. Welcome to Dirty in the Frame. Sarah usually does these intros, but today is a special version of it. There's so much information that both of us are trying to get this intro. Me and Sarah always argue about the top 5 whatever, all the time. We have this imaginary list that we think is important because it makes our life have meaning. We thought we should bring it to the pod. The top 5 today, Disney movies ranked by music. Is that right, Sarah?
Yes, and I'm
ranked
so excited.
by music. Okay, now how this is going to work. We thought it did us no good if we're just going to argue with each other the whole time. We can do that all the time.
And we do.
And we do. Yes, yes. Feelings get hurt. Today, the challenge is, you know what, let's not disagree. What if we try to collaboratively, maybe, agree on a top 5 together? Now, this is something we both have strong feelings about. The best music in a Disney film. Are you ready, Sarah?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I don't know if we're not going to be able to argue. This is going to be the hardest part.
Yeah.
This is going to be the hardest part.
Because we're both music nerds, super music nerds, and we have really even doubled down on our love for Disney music recently, right?
And I would also say that our love of music comes from very different places, you know?
Yes, mine from soul. You're from, where does yours usually come from?
The white soul, musical theater.
White soul.
The white soul.
All right. This is an argument we've been having for quite a while, so we're excited.
Guys,
because we've been excited about music for quite a while, the Disney music for quite a while, right?
We've talked about it in the past.
Okay.
But never in detail and never in this kind of context. So.
For sure. This is what's going to happen. Am I cutting you off?
Yes, because I just wanted to say it doesn't matter, but I'm very excited because there's a couple of outliers that I'm wondering if Asaad will add to his list or not.
Yes.
I want to know what's on your list. I know what's on my list, and it's perfect. So hopefully yours is the exact same because there's nothing to argue with.
Commenters, you will definitely roast us for this list.
What?
They will. Put your own list at the bottom. Maybe there's something we're missing, okay? But here is the only rule. I don't even know if these are rules.
Let's hear it.
Sarah has 5.
Yes.
I have not seen them.
True.
I have my list of 5 in order. She has not seen mine. I think we mentioned honorable mentions in the beginning.
Okay.
Maybe. And then if you have on your list of 5, if you say whatever, Sleeping Beauty's your 5, and that's on my list as well, I should reveal what number it is. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, Sleeping Beauty's my number 2.
Cool.
A lot of rules. I think we can get into it so we're boring the people. And
Sleeping Beauty, first
does that have
of all,
music in it?
What? I mean, it has music, but not with lyrics, I don't think. Oh,
Okay.
they have got a couple. But it doesn't make the list. Spoiler alert. All right. You guys, I'm nerding out here. Okay. I have 2 honorable mentions.
Okay, so let's start at 7. Well, yeah, honorable
it's 7.
mentions.
It's 7. It's
Okay.
an honorable mention.
Okay.
This is going to be controversial, I think, already.
Okay.
It's The Little Mermaid.
Oh, whoa, hold on a second. You're disrupting this whole show at the beginning, at the gate.
I'm here to disrupt.
Okay, Little Mermaid.
Okay, so The Little Mermaid has bangers, right?
Yes.
But only a few. In reviewing, by the way, I had the most fun getting ready for this podcast because I went and was listening and looking at soundtrack lists, and then I just started listening to them, and I was like, oh, under the sea. No, okay. So Little Mermaid, now we're talking about the original cartoon version of all of these. Am I right? Is that fair to say?
Yeah, no live action.
No live
bullshit.
action. We don't, support those. We only like cartoons. Little Mermaid is my number 7. It's not made the list.
Okay.
It almost did.
Okay, can I go to mine? Or?
Well, let me tell you the songs.
Okay.
Right? We've got Part of Your World. Great.
Okay.
Love it. We've got Under the Sea. Great. Love it. Poor Unfortunate Souls.
Cooking.
Great. And Kiss the Girl. 4 bangers on that soundtrack.
Listen, I'm kind of surprised that this isn't on your top 5.
I know.
I'm very, very surprised. I actually think the average Disney goer would be like, this is definitely top 5.
Well, where did you rank it? Is it on your list?
I can't tell you. I think we only tell you if it's on our list once we get into the actual numbers, because these are just honorable mentions.
Oh, you're right. Okay,
right?
there's rules. I forgot
There's so many rules.
Okay.
We'll fine-tune this, guys, I
Asaad
promise.
loves a rule.
My honorable mention, my first honorable mention, it comes from a man who's a genius in his own right.
Oh, no.
Who's
Sweeney
won
Todd?
Oscars, who's won Grammys. His name is Randy Newman. He was tasked to write and perform the Toy Story soundtrack.
Nah.
Meh?
You know, guys, I hate to disagree so early because that was the one rule, but what? There's one song.
Which one?
You got a friend in me.
Keep going. Keep cooking.
You got a friend in me. That's all I
On
know.
the next line. Keep going.
Just remember what the old folks said. You got a friend in me.
That doesn't do something to you, that song?
It does, but it's one song.
Okay. Let me tell you about my affinity for Toy Story.
Tell me another song on the soundtrack that made the list.
I will if you let me cook. Toy Story is a brilliant story told to me because it's about being replaced, right? Everyone's fear of the brand new replacing your old, right? And the friend in me part, even though that's the biggest song on the soundtrack, doesn't explain the movie as well as this song that I love, which is called Strange Things. And it's a montage of Andy playing with Buzz more than Woody. Pause. Woody gets thrown on the ground. Buzz is flying around like the new chick in town, and Woody is the side chick now. And Randy Newman is singing about how strange things are happening to me. And it's for someone who fears getting old, someone who fears not being cool anymore. Boy, that rang a bell with me back in the '96 when it first came out. Strange Things is a phenomenal song that gets slept on. Honorable mention versus Toy Story. On you, I dare you to top that.
I'm depressed. I'm drinking and I'm depressed. There's whiskey in this cup. Let me tell you why I'm depressed.
Okay, cool.
You're so good at arguing. I'm already like, yeah, why didn't I think of that? You should have been a lawyer. You really missed your calling.
I battle rap.
You what? I've never heard of that. What is that?
When you tell someone they're fat, but you rhyme it with spat.
You're fat. I would never have a spat with you.
Boo, what else? That's
'Cause
your ass.
You're fat and I like bats. Okay. I am not a battle rapper. Hot take, in case you didn't know from that. All right. Great argument.
I'm cooking.
My second runner-up. This is going to be a sleeper hit. People don't remember this movie because I don't know if a lot of people saw it. It was kind of, I think it was like 1960 something that this movie came out. Mary Poppins.
Nah, yo.
Have you even seen Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews?
No. I'm a real nigga. I don't
Okay.
watch Mary Poppins.
Well, you're missing out. You want to hear why? Spoonful of Sugar, Jolly Holiday, Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
Oh, that's Mary Poppins, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know the second one you just said, but Supercalifragilistic, that does go. Like, I would put that in the whip.
I will sing all of these songs. We got It's a Jolly Holiday with Mary. Oh, so good.
They have a remix with Offset, right?
Yeah.
Just being bad. Just shut up.
Stay Awake, which is a lullaby you have definitely heard.
Oh, I thought that was the Bill Cosby instructions for parties. But go
Oh,
ahead.
Jesus Christ. No, I think it's quite the opposite. It's called Don't Stay Awake. I Love to Laugh, Feed the Birds, Chim Chimney, Chim Chimchuree.
Oh, that's on Mary Poppins
Step
too?
in Time. See? Let's Go
Nah.
Fly a Kite. Like
Nah,
these
this
are
has hits.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They're just not as well known and loved as some of the other ones,
Yeah.
but boy, did this have a lot of bangers.
No, Chim Chimney's my shit.
Oh, you know that one?
I didn't know that was Mary Poppins.
Yeah, it definitely is.
I love that song, actually.
And my favorite of those songs is that lullaby, Stay Awake, because I'll talk quickly about it because I'm sure a lot of people haven't heard it, but like, she's telling a little kid, stay awake. I know you don't want to go to bed. Like, there's so many exciting things happening. It's kind of like, you know, reverse psychology. And Julie Andrews' voice, you just can't beat it. What's your number 6, your runner-up?
Our honorable mention, right
Yes.
out of the top spot, is This only had one banger for me. Now, this happens a lot with hip-hop albums where I'm like, oh, you only got one banger on there. The rest is a skip. But it's such a banger that it exalts you into a category. And I'm talking about the song that taught me and was my first example of wordplays. Because you can have a bear or you can be bare, but you can definitely have the bare necessities. And that was Jungle Book. The Jungle Book soundtrack. The rest of these are skips.
What?
The rest of these are ass, but the bare necessities is fire because they have a bear singing it to you, right? It's telling you about what's really important in life, but a bear singing it to you, and it's literally bare necessities. You didn't get the double in that when you were young. Did you get the double, the metaphor in that when you were young?
You know why?
You didn't catch it. Why not? You don't got bars like that. What does that say? Oh, what does that say? I can't see.
Asaad is dumb.
Okay, we definitely need a different color marker. But okay, all right, okay. So, Jungle Book was my second honorable mention. You're not jacking that. You don't like it, huh?
It didn't even enter my brain.
Okay.
It didn't even enter my existence.
Okay, all right, fine, all right. Well, let's get into it now.
You literally said there's one.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of albums I have.
So what made you pick that? You like that song?
The song is so good, yeah. Almost everybody knows that song, I feel like. No? Not?
Oh, I didn't know we were doing the How Many People Know the Song podcast.
That's already taken. That's on Spotify.
I'm
It's pretty good,
pissed.
actually.
We haven't even started the top 5, and I am pissed at you right now.
I'm telling you guys, we both feel a way about music.
This is so dumb. Okay, hold on. I gotta write yours down. So you did Jungle Book, LOL.
Yeah.
And then what was your
Toy Story.
Toy Story? God damn it. All right.
You don't have a friend in me. Now let's get to the nitty gritty. Remember the rules, Sarah. We're going to get into our real top 5 now for Disney music. If she mentions one that's on my list, I'm going to reveal that it's on my list and what spot it is.
Okay.
Sarah Stouffer, take us away.
How do we feel about the black marker? Can you see that?
I can see it. Oh, I can see it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right, so number 5. Now remember, this is based on music, not your best favorite Disney movie based on story, cast, quippy one-liners, because this is my favorite Disney movie, but it's coming in number 5 at songs. Mulan. Is it on your list? I know it's on your list. You love Mulan. Yo, you love Mulan.
Mulan is number 5 for me. Yeah. Okay, some synergy. We don't have to argue about this. And this is recent because of you. Go ahead. No, you cook. You cook food.
Okay, because this is my favorite Disney movie of all time.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Damn.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Eddie Murphy as the little dragon. He's like, down. I'm pocket sized for your convenience. So
down,
good.
Bessie.
Yeah, down, Bessie. If I was my real size, your cow here would die of fright. I love it. I quote it, just, all the time. 1998, Mulan. We've got to save her father from death
Will you
in the
come from
army.
behind the board? I'm sorry.
What'd you say?
Will you step aside from the board so the board's not blocking you? There you go. Sorry, thank you. Okay, sorry, logline me.
Mulan. Released in 1998. Here's the logline. To save her father from death in the army, a young maiden, what? Who uses the word maiden? Secretly goes in his place. So she Joan of Arcs herself. She cuts her hair off and she becomes one of China's greatest heroines in the process. It's phenomenal. Greatest movie. Now, the songs would be number 1. I started off with this as my number 1.
Cook.
However, I realize there's not that many of them.
Okay.
So we've got Honor to Us All, we've got Make a Man Out of You, and we've got A Girl Worth Fighting For, and of course Reflections, right? Which was made into a pop hit by our one and only Christina Aguilera.
Yes.
At the end, which is so funny. Remember they used to do that? They used to kind of like...
Yeah, do a version for a pop star. I might have something on my list like that.
Oh, okay, because they did it... Was it, what's true to your heart? You must be true to your heart. I think that's also...
I don't know what that is. Never heard that song in my life.
I think it's also on Mulan. I think they did 2 remixes.
Okay.
So my favorite song is, the clear winner is Reflection. That was the biggest one everybody knows. Sung by my friend, Lea Salonga.
Oh, who's that?
Who's that?
She a theater person because you know her and I don't? Maybe she was on
Yes.
like Taxi Cab,
But also-
Death of a Taxi Salesman, whatever the hell.
Death of a salesman?
I don't know, whatever
A
place you were
taxi
in.
cab, a taxi salesman. No, so Leia voiced Princess Jasmine
No shit.
in Aladdin, and she voiced the singing voice of Mulan. So, you know, back in the day, they had a singing voice. I don't know if they still do, probably. A singing voice and someone who voices the character. And I call her my friend because a girlfriend of mine met her in an acting class, and we got to go see her. I've always thought she was just the most beautiful singer of all time. And we saw her in a play in San Diego, and we had dinner with her before the play. I met her. I sat next to one of my heroes, and I will always call her. We follow each other on Instagram. She probably doesn't follow me, but I follow her. And she has the most beautiful voice, and she plays the singing voice in Mulan. So Reflection, of course, is the banger from that. But I love I'll Make a Man Out of You. I think it's so clever.
This is my shit, man.
It is. I know you love this song, too. And it's sung by the whitest of the whites, Donny Osmond.
Hold on. This is me being from Utah.
Yeah.
Don't say Donny Osmond's name with disrespect, because he's our GOAT there. He's a Utahn, and he proved to all of us Utahnians that you can make it out by voicing an Asian person when you're a white male.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. He's like, I mean, this was, you know, this was in the 90s. This was before it was not cool or brought up to do that. But yeah, so he sings that song. And speaking of kind of double entendres, it's just so
good.
Cool and so smart. Listen to the song. It's clever. We love it. So Mulan has made both of our lists at number 5. So it's going on the board for a potential to be on the main list. Okay.
Yeah, place it on the board. We don't know where it'll be, but
I'm just going to put it up here.
Number 5. And just as anecdotes, no, we're just adding on to how good Mulan is. A part of you as a child loves the music because you're associated with the film. But if you're really, and I hate to be a nerd about this, like a nerd about songwriting, Make a Man Out of You is really fucking good, man. She's a woman disguising herself to be a man. They have this montage of her training to fight, and she's struggling in the beginning. And then, I don't know, then the crescendos with the male chorus at the end, where they're all singing again.
Yeah, well, sorry to interrupt you.
What were we going to say?
Well, the double entendre is like, he's speaking to an army full of men, and she's the only one who's technically a woman.
Yes.
And he's telling all of these men, be a man, man up. You know, we always say that in our culture today, like man up, man up.
Yeah, it's the ideal they're talking about.
And it is so cool that she's actually trying to pretend to be a man. I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
And then she ends up beating all the other men after he sends her home, and he's like, you'll never be a man. Crazy. And she's like, watch me be a fucking man. Oh,
gangsta.
Sorry.
Gangsta. No, what word did you say?
I said the F word.
Which one? Fucker?
Freak.
Oh, okay. Oh, I was like, you just hit us with a gay slur, did you? Like,
no.
Damn, okay, good.
Oh, Lord of mercy.
Okay.
Never that.
Yeah, man, that, all jokes aside, when I listened to it as a kid, I loved it. I revisited probably 2 decades later when Sarah showed it to me again.
Because I love it.
And if you haven't if you haven't listened to it, listen to it again. And the part where they're crescendoing, where the beat drops out, and it's all the men's chorus singing, we must be swift as a coursing river.
Be a man.
With all the force of a great typhoon. I was like, and I was like, oh my God, this is kind of ringing off, bro.
I'm so proud. This is
But as a man, as a woman, it's like, it's cool because they're talking about the ideal, and it relates to both sexes, you know? 2 of the sexes, sorry. It relates to 2 of the sexes of like, this woman trying to be an ideal of a man, and men trying to live up to their own ideal of men. So shout out to Donny Osmond for being the original Emma Stone and playing an Asian. Okay.
All right, so Mulan, we're off to a great start, Asaad.
We're cooking. I like this. Let's go cook food.
Our honorable mentions, yours were a little lacking, but listen, I'll forgive you and we'll move on.
Okay. Thank you.
At number 4, I have Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Tale as old as time. Oh, so good. Okay, so we've got 1991. I had this, along with much of my list, in a VHS. Did you guys remember those? Oh, well, this is a great example. Those like VHS ones, when you got the first one, it came in a big plastic cover.
Like laminated?
You remember?
Yes.
And you open it, it was like...
What material was that? That was like space age material that it was made out of.
And it was thick, and it was like really, it felt special, you know, like it felt significant. When you got DVDs, it was just these little like, probably better for the environment or whatever, but I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
Prius driver.
Climate change is real. I was so excited to open up those big ass plastic things and shove that VHS into the player and rewind it because my dumb brothers didn't. Anyways, we're off on another rant. So 1991, logline. A prince cursed to spend his days as a hideous monster sets out to regain his humanity by earning a young woman's love. First of all, what? This is about beauty. This movie's about Belle. Okay. And I love how they make the logline about a young prince. I was like, what? Okay, songs. We've got Belle.
There's just a song called Belle?
Yes. So this is now, it's a weird title. It's a 5-minute song at the beginning of the movie.
Boo.
Where she comes out. No, it's great. It sets the tone. You feel it. It's the little town. It's a quiet village. Every day like the one before. Are you with me now?
We don't play that in the hood at all.
Okay. So she's walking around talking about how there must be more than this small town and it's small people doing the same shit every day. And she's focused on that. And then you've got, at the same time, singing under her, at the same time, Gaston, the big brute guy, saying how he's going to woo and marry her, because that's all his focus is on. And then you've got everybody else saying how weird she is because she wants something different. How fucking moving for like a child growing up in a small town or a woman growing up in a big town. Like, it's moving.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's my favorite song from it. So we've got that. We've got Gaston, which is hilarious.
He has some gems in that. What are some things that Gaston references into being like a big man, big burly man?
Well,
Give us some lyrics.
he ate 5 dozen eggs every morning just to help him get large. And now that he's grown, he eats, I don't know, maybe it's 1 dozen, I don't know, he eats more dozen eggs.
Yeah. Do you think Gaston meal preps?
I think LeFou does it for him.
Okay.
LeFou is the little guy who's like obsessed with him. I think Josh Gad played him in the live action version, and there was a big to-do about it because they were like, oh, he's gay and he's in love with Gaston, and I'm like, yeah, obviously, it's great. Yeah. Like, not great because it's unrequited, but, you know. It's so funny because he just follows him around. He's like, yes, whatever you need, Gaston. But I just think that song is brilliant. Gaston has his song about how great he is, which is hilarious. There's Something There. We have Be Our Guest.
What's the biggest song there? Be Our Guest?
I think it's Tale as Old as Time, you know, Beauty and the Beast.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's probably the most classic. But my favorite is honestly that opening number, which is just called Belle. But I love that. And I also love, I don't know if it's called the Belle Reprise, but there's... Oh no, that's not what it's called. But she sings a song about like there's something strange and almost kind. Like when she starts to like the Beast, which is how I felt after getting to know you a little bit. I was like, he's so bad to look at, but maybe he's nice, you know? No, you don't.
No, is this thing on?
You don't follow? Did you fall asleep back there, buddy? I'm just kidding.
Beauty and the Beast at your 5.
Beauty and the Beast is at 4.
4.
Mulan is at 5. What's your 4?
I don't have Beauty and the Beast on my list. Yeah.
Blaspheme.
Did not make my. If I were to rate the top 5 animated princesses, Belle would make it. You know.
What?
I think it was hard for.
Based on what?
Well, you know, everyone liked blondes back then, and Belle was like, "Nah, man, I'm gonna go natural. Choose a real one."
All right.
Beauty and the Beast did not make it, although big songs on that. I think it's problematic. That show's really problematic.
You're problematic. You're talking about how hot the Disney princesses are.
You're right.
We're talking about music.
Pretty problematic, that whole film. First of all, big dick on the cover of Beauty and the Beast. First time I saw, like...
Are you thinking of Little Mermaid?
Oh, maybe it was.
That was the castles in the background.
Pause. That was Little Mermaid. I'm sorry.
But apparently it was common in many of them, so it also could have been Beauty
Weird
and the Beast.
animators back then. What are you guys doing? The writers...
they were bored.
The animators back then were having a moment. And I don't love Belle's choices of Gaston and the Beast. I think Beast is abusing her verbally and just locking and kidnapping her. Don't love that story. Hard to be romantic, right?
Okay.
Although I do think, you tell me, women are kind of taught to love the like bad boy that you have to fix back then. That crushed in the 90s, right?
I think it's still crushing now.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
Mine is my number 4 is not Little Mermaid, which is not on my list. I mean, it's not Beauty and the Beast. It is the Little Mermaid that was in your honorable mention.
Okay, so
It's
nothing's getting added to the board, but let's hear your Little Mermaid pitch.
Well, I do, you know me, I love the metaphor, same with bare necessities. I do love the idea of someone finding their voice literally and losing it. I thought that was really cool. And I do love how it compares to like traveling or experiencing a new world, that she knew everything down there and it changed completely and flipped on its head. And because she fell in love, she had to learn this whole different world. Here's the only thing about it. Every Disney movie has the villain song. Don't love the villain song in this.
Really?
Poor Unfortunate Souls kind of freaked me out a little bit.
Oh,
I'll be
I
honest.
love that. I think that's
scared.
a great song.
Yeah, it is. It just, you know, as a kid, you remember being scared by it. And Ursula scared me. So, I don't know. You went into it already, so we're going to skip to your 3.
Well, my question for you is, I have a follow-up.
Okay.
Oh, this thing's teetering on the edge. I have a follow-up, which is you're describing the way that it made you feel, which is totally valid, and I think that's part of our experience in experiencing music and movies and film. But you didn't really talk about the music, right? So, like, regardless of Ariel's decisions and her choices, like, what was your favorite song of The Little Mermaid that made you put it on your top 5 list?
Here's what I really dig, and this is why you're going to hear me geek out about the music writers that Little Mermaid, that Disney chooses for their film. But the idea of Under the Sea is amazing, right? Ariel wants to leave it, but Sebastian's like, nah, we got everything we need here. And when it's about writing music, the instruments they use for Under the Sea, making it like an island feel with like bongos and stabs. I was like, oh, this is cool. It feels like a Jamaican feel almost.
Legit question, what does a stab mean?
It's a combination, music nerds correct me, but it's a combination of a lot of sounds that hit in a staccato form. So like a boom, and that could have been a trombone, piano key, and like a drum. That's like a stab. It was big in the 80s.
Super cool, I love that.
But a cool decision to make it like island feel, because the sea could have been anywhere, but they made Sebastian like this island feel that I really dig. And then Part of Your World's amazing. You know?
Yeah,
and then,
you sold me. Great pitch
sorry,
there.
I gotta fix this light. Part of Your World's amazing, and although removed from the new Little Mermaid, Kiss the Girl is a great song.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's romantic. I think it's problematic now, right? They removed it from the new version.
It's so funny. I didn't even realize it until you literally just said removed from the new version.
Yeah.
Kiss the Girl. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that's tough because it's like
It's a little creepy.
it's legit saying like even though she's not saying she wants it, she wants it. Like ew.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, not
problematic.
great. Doesn't
But
time out well, but it's a great song.
the goalpost is always moving, and we're learning and we're growing. But in the moment, and for what it was, you know, it was literally saying like, I'm not going to talk about it. It does feel gross, but I did like it when I was a kid, and I didn't know about those.
Yeah.
Big,
the original
bad,
version was
creepy
douse
men.
her drink. No, okay. Don't laugh. Please don't laugh at that. You're going to get in trouble if you do. Okay, that's my Little
I'm the
Mermaid
person
spiel.
who edits these, so I will clip that right out. Don't you worry about it, little tiger.
What's your number 3,
Speaking
Sarah?
of little tigers, I did that on accident. My number 3 is The Lion King. The Lion King!
No kidding. It's number 3 for you.
And that's going to be higher on his list. 1994. Okay, let me tell you about The Lion King.
That was Akon, right?
I would get into that shit. Every morning, I start my morning with that song. I take my cat Franklin, and I hold him on the balcony.
That's negligent.
I
Okay.
show him to the world. He's all right. He hates it. But it makes me feel special and good. This movie, The Lion King, was released in 1994. The logline, Lion Prince Simba and his father are targeted by his bitter uncle. Bitter. Who wants to ascend the throne himself. That's it. Pretty succinct logline for what this movie's about. Songs. Just Can't Wait to Be King, Be Prepared, Hakuna Matata, Circle of Life, and Can You Feel the Love Tonight?
That's a lot. How many was that in a row? That.
6. There's a lot. I believe Elton John helped write this.
Who is the GOAT, man? Especially, I wish he wrote more Disney stuff.
And,
But
like,
that's a lot of
pop
bangers on
hits.
one album.
Yeah, and pop hits. Like,
Yeah.
And that's not what we were used to. We were used to Alan Menken and like the normal Disney movies. This was like introducing a whole new feel. So it's 1994. It's a little later. We're like, oh, we need to give the people what they want. You know,
Yeah.
we can't just do musicals anymore. We got to make it pop.
I love the idea of like white execs at Disney being like, we need something edgy. Elton John.
Elton John. That guy's crazy. He wears sparkly sunglasses. By the way, this very quick detour. Asaad and I really like the show Amazing Race, and we were watching. We'd in the pandemic gone through all of the recent versions and seasons of Amazing Race. There's like 32 seasons of it or something crazy, and we watched an old one. Do you know what I'm about to say?
Yes.
There was this white guy and his wife, and they had traveled to Africa. He was just the worst. This was back in probably like early 2000s. They went to fucking Africa, and they were like, he got in trouble with the police, and he's like, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. Dead ass serious, like he thought that was an African like real phrase to say like, no worries, no worries. You guys. We will. I'm gonna do the research and link this in the notes for this. I gotta remember. It's nuts. He was like, Hakuna Matata, Hakuna Matata. Oh man, racism is wild. Okay, so my number 3.
Hot take from Sarah. Racism is wild.
Isn't it crazy? Have you heard of this thing called racism? Number 3 is Lion King. What's your number 3? We've only got one so far. We're inching up. Do you have Lion King on your list?
Lion King is number 2 for me.
Okay.
So I think it makes the board. It makes the board. For all the reasons you said. And again, don't love the villain song here. Kind of creeped me out a little bit too. Be prepared. Although good advice for life. Pretty scary when you hear it as a child. And also just like a bad uncle movie.
Well, we've all got a couple of those. Am I right, Uncle Mike? I have 2 Uncle Mikes. Which one am I talking about?
Yeah, so Lion King is my number 2. I think the ability for Disney, like I say with Under the Sea, to encapsulate the culture's music of whatever they're trying to film is pretty impressive. Now, Elton John doesn't seem African to me. Maybe I could research and do a 23andMe.
He doesn't seem it, but we don't know for sure.
Is Elton a traditional African name? Elton?
That's the whitest man I've ever seen in my life. That's
Isn't that
hilarious.
amazing? That seems like
I might need a 23andMe for Elton John if I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings or say anything out of pocket. Come on, man.
Imagine finding out that's real. Like his 23andMe comes back and it's Elton Zimbabwe or something. Just like, whoa, he's really African. No, the thought of an Elton John soundtrack started with that like African note in the beginning is hilarious. But other than that, I think this has the most songs I can listen to on a Disney soundtrack.
I will say, Lion King is a very and I know we're just talking about movies, so I felt comfortable adding it. But in general, that movie didn't really do it for me.
No hot take.
I think it's, I was a young girl, and it was more of a boy movie, I felt like, which I know is also not a thing anymore, but when I was a kid, it was.
I do have to mention every time we talk about Lion King, it is important to note the type of evil Scar was. He killed his brother, Simba's dad, in a ambush that a stampede took his father's life. Simba goes up to Scar after his dad's dead. Scar tells Simba he's at fault, and that's the reason why his dad is dead. Yeah. Pretty evil stuff. Can I agree?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
hold on. Please let me cook. Then he takes it one step further. He gaslights Simba to blame him for his dad's death, and then tells the hyenas to go kill Simba. So not only did he gaslight him, but he gaslit him for the 10 minutes he thought he was going to be alive. Different type of evil. That's wild.
That
right?
is wild.
That's a wild thing to do.
I had never thought of that before.
Scar was a wild boy. The last thing you want to do for his last 10 minutes of life is like gaslight him and tell him it's his dad's fault?
Well, now that you say that, I wonder if the thought there, and I'm giving this way too much credit, I wonder if the thought there was like, he knows Simba's strong and has like a strong spirit of a king. So he had to break down his spirit so that they even could have a chance of killing him.
Oh, Miss Scar was on some other shit. Okay.
Yeah. But I agree, really. And they say in the log line, bitter.
Bitter. He's a bitter old man.
Don't become bitter,
Another note, that place that like when Mufasa and Simba are looking over the valley and the darkness is there and he tells them not to go there. That's where you grew up, right, Sarah? Mm-hmm. Okay, all right.
That's Vacaville in the shadows.
We love Vacaville, guys.
You
We're
can go
joking.
everywhere you want. Not there. There's a prison. There's bad shit happening.
What's there, Dad? Outlets.
The outlets. And an In-N-Out and nothing else. Wait, we had a place called the Nut Tree.
Whoa. Hey, yo. You good?
I knew you'd like that.
Okay.
You're number 3.
My number 3 comes to you from
Vacaville, California. The Nut Tree.
I think this is probably the most recent addition.
Uh-oh.
This soundtrack has a song called Shiny, a song called How Far I'll Go,
Mm-hmm. It's a good one.
and a song rapped/sang by The Rock called You're Welcome.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The movie and soundtrack I'm referring to is no other than Disney's/Pixar's, maybe it's Pixar, I don't know.
No,
Moana. Just Disney.
Moana. Mm-hmm.
Also, something you referenced before when a pop star remakes it, Alessia Cara took How Far I'll Go,
Ugh, such a
remade
good
it, and it was
song.
on the radios for a while. Listen, I am an old man that begs for nostalgia, and when I heard this soundtrack, it gave me the feel of when I used to hear Disney soundtracks, where I'm like, damn, the music on this is diverse enough. They got a good villain song. It's so hard to get a good villain song.
Oh,
From Jordan
Shiny.
Blank, I forget who's in What Did We Do in the Shadows, who was so amazing in it. But they had it written by Lin-Manuel Miranda, who did all of, Hamilton, obviously,
In the Heights.
and In the Heights. And this is them tasking like someone that's a black creative. Puerto Rican? I'm sorry.
Puerto Rican, I think.
Puerto
Or
Rican.
not, Dominican.
We don't want to get you mixed up. I'm
DR.
sorry, Lin-Manuel Miranda. We don't want to do that. But them tasking someone that knows culture and really giving like The Rock a rap verse. But I thought, now here is what always gets me, is like when you are burdened with purpose like Moana was, that'll always hit me because I kind of feel I relate to a character like that. I grew up in a small place and I wanted more, right? And Moana grew up in this island, and the only one that was really on her same vibe was her grandma. And the village looks at her crazy, but she's like, fam, go past the water. No one here will go past the water. They're all settling for here, and that might fit them, but it doesn't fit you. You better go past the water. And for someone who moved out of their small hometown and tried to go past the water, I was like, damn, this is hitting me in the feels. Am I getting too serious about this?
Well, when you say you felt a burden of purpose, was your purpose to go find hotter chicks or more salted caramel shakes? What was your purpose?
I don't know exactly what it was, but it was fulfilled by Brie Larson's tank top in the
Okay.
trailer of
Oh,
Moana.
no, I was hoping we wouldn't bring that up again. I was like, can we go one episode without talking about this damn Brie Larson and her tank top? I didn't hate her before, but I'm going to start. No, I feel that, and I really do love that, and it was on my radar to add to this list.
It's so
But there wasn't
good.
enough great songs. I love Shiny. I love.
Do you love You're Welcome?
Oh, I love You're Welcome. That's just fun, right?
Okay.
But like, How Far I'll Go touches me. Like, I cry every time I try to sing that song,
it's
hear that
powerful
song.
shit, man.
It's beautiful. Everyone feels it, I would imagine, and it's beautifully sung. They nailed it. I agree with your choice. I'm not mad at that choice.
Let me just tell you what sounds like doctrine right now, Sarah. Can I have a second?
Mm-hmm.
I've been staring at the edge of the water, long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish I could be the perfect daughter, but I come back to the water no matter how hard I try.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna skip a part here, but see the line where the sky meets the sea? It calls me, and no one knows how far it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know. And if I go, there's just no telling how far I'll go. Come on, Moana. Come on, 16-year-old Moana. You're going to make me cry as an adult? Listen, man, Moana. Let me talk to you, Moana, because she's a big fan of this pod.
Shout out to our
I
girl
can hear it from the
Moana.
water, too, man. The water calls me, too. Does the water call you, Sarah?
The water calls me.
And then I do like The Rock rapping, singing. I think his character song is so good when they introduce him.
Yeah.
He's a douche, and it really leans into it. And then the villain song is really great as well. That's my thoughts on Moana. Thank you for whoever wrote that, Lin-Manuel.
I 100% cannot fault you for that. I'm almost jealous I didn't put it on my list now that you've given that amazing recap of it, honestly, because you're, again, so good at this. I'm like, okay, I believe you. Your list is better than mine. Yeah, incredible. Didn't make my list. I apologize, but I think the reason that it didn't was because there was only a couple of songs.
Yeah.
And there were, when I went down, this all rearranged so many times. I started with Mulan as my favorite because that's just my favorite Disney musical in general. But when I started looking at the lists and lists, and some of these have so many bangers that I'm like, what is happening? Like, and where did this go? Moana did a good job, but like, where did this go with all of the good musicals and the good songs? But okay, great number 3. I appreciate it. I love it. My number 2. Riff raff, street rat. I don't buy that. If only they looked closer, would they see a poor boy? No, siree.
I was really editing on those cuts.
What are we talking about?
Aladdin.
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 Oh,
Aladdin.
Aladdin. With my friend Leia Salonga.
Oh, is she the one you mentioned before?
Yeah, she sings the voice of Princess Jasmine. She doesn't know who I am. Just to be clear, like, I say she's my friend.
No matter how many letters I send to her flat, she doesn't respond.
I keep sending it, and her agents keep sending them back. Okay, Aladdin, 1992. Arabian Nights. Ugh, so good. We've got a kind-hearted street urchin and a power-hungry grand vizier vie for vizier is in the log line. What word is that? Like, I only know it from the movie. Vie for a magic lamp that has the power to make their deepest wishes come true. We've got Iago, who is the comedic relief. We've got a bad guy in Jafar. We've got Robin Williams singing and playing the genie. Like, what could be better? This musical, this show, this movie has so many hits. We've got Arabian Nights, One Jump, Gotta Keep, One Jump, Ahead of the Bread Line. Oh, so good. That song is so good. Friend Like Me, Prince Ali, and then, last but not least, A Whole New World, which everybody knows and has covered and sings still to this day, right? My favorite song is One Jump. I know it's weird, but like, that song's so great. I love the excitement of it. I love the way that the song changes. Like, it goes from he's just trying to keep safe and he's running around and it's catchy and it's quick, and I love the guy who they chose to sing it. And then at the end, he's like, well, that's not me. You know, I'm just doing what I got to do to survive. And it's touching and you feel for him. And I just think that Aladdin is top of the tops. Number 2 of the tops. What do you think?
This is my number 1, Sarah.
Ah!
Yeah, I think in terms of the actual writing, everything sounds great. Sonically, every Disney movie sounds great. But in terms of the writing, I think they really nailed this. And for me, Aladdin low-key is rapping in One Jump Ahead.
Yes!
Like, he's snapping on some like hood shit.
Gotta keep.
He's giving me like struggle rap in this. Let's see. What does he say? Lady says, oh, it's sad Aladdin's hit the bottom. He's become a one-man rising crime. That's some hood shit. I fuck with that. Credit to him. I'd blame parents, except he hasn't got him. God
Rude.
Damn. And then Aladdin says, gotta eat to live, gotta steal to eat.
Tell you all about it when I got the time.
Tell you all about it when I got the time. And then one part he's like,
phenomenal.
These guys don't appreciate I'm broke. And then,
yes.
But my favorite line is, what is it? Oh, you know, I lost it, but what's the one he ends it with too? Oh, I steal only what I can afford. That's everything. But it's real.
Yes.
It's very real. This is like hood rap that I listen to. Like, this could easily be T.I. rapping.
And this is a great point, right? Like, we're sitting here going, oh, people are stealing. Bro.
He ain't got parents, man. He's homeless.
The only people who enjoy stealing and are doing it for fun are rich, white, privileged people who are like, on Breaking Bad, Betsy, whatever her face was, who's stealing stuff just to feel something. Like, Aladdin's just trying to fucking eat, man. Just like Jean Valjean. He stole a loaf of bread to feed his family. So sue him. Whose fault is that?
Yes.
It's, you know, it's not because he doesn't want to work. It's because nobody will hire him.
Aladdin is definitely my number 1. It was your number 2. And it only cemented it by the genie, which maybe was the best performance in Disney music, Will Smith.
Oh, I I almost just peed my pants. I have to pee so bad. And the fact that you just said that made me so upset. I went a little.
You're peeing in protest?
Are we going to get kicked out of the studio if the floor's...
Do you need a break, or should we push through?
No, I'm fine, but
Okay.
Geez, don't say anything
I'm
stupid
sorry.
like that
Okay, I'm
anymore.
sorry.
If you can't,
So
if
I
you
think
can
it's
help
back.
it.
I think it's back on you because you said my number, because you're on number. You said you're number 2, right?
Yes, and
My number 2 is Lion King, and my number 1 is Aladdin. So it's up to you now, which I think your number 1 is something we haven't mentioned.
Oh, it's definitely something we haven't mentioned.
I don't know what it is.
I
and I'm
know, and
actually
this is
really
why I was
curious.
like, don't look at my list.
Okay.
Because I didn't think you'd think of this one, but when I say it, I think you're going to be really mad that you didn't think of this one.
If it's some bullshit like Cars, I'm out of here.
It's not.
Okay.
But what's your number 2?
So you already named it. So my number 2 was Lion King.
Give me your, okay.
So 5 was Mulan,
Okay.
4 Little Mermaid, 3 Moana,
Okay.
2 Lion King, 1 Aladdin.
My number 1. None of you are going to know, but Asaad is, and it's going to piss him off that he didn't put it on his list. And that's what I live for, to piss Asaad off. Newsies.
Oh, shit. Newsies.
Cut to yourself right now.
I was thinking animation. Nah, Newsies.
I knew you'd be, that's why I was like, don't look, because you're going to be so mad you didn't come up with it. We love
Wait,
Newsies.
I'm sorry to any of the black people that watch this. I know you didn't grow up on Newsies. I didn't either. Sarah had to hit me to this shit.
I did.
And it took a while. It's a square pill. But boy, does this Newsies have some shit on it.
We've got Christian Bale
Cook.
in 1992.
Cook.
What?
Cook.
Christian Bale singing. Before he was Christian Bale, before Dark Knight, before he was Batman, before he was American Psycho, we have a young, tiny little Christian Bale playing a newsboy in 1932.
playing a newsboy.
He's just trying to make ends meet, just like Aladdin, very much like our number 1 Aladdin for Asaad.
Yes. Yeah. Damn.
Logline. A musical based on the New York City newsboy strike of 1899. Ooh, I was way off. 1899, I said 1932. When young newspaper sellers are exploited beyond reason of by their bosses, they set out to enact change and are met by the ruthlessness of big business. Who can't relate to that?
Damn. Capitalism early, too.
You know how much they
Early.
charge me for my iced coffee at Starbucks?
Talk.
$8.
No, we need to riot.
Down with the man.
You have said some of the widest things I've ever heard in my life, but the sentence, do you know how much they charge me for my iced coffee at Starbucks,
Yeah.
is the whitest thing you've ever
Oh,
said.
what? People of all colors don't like Starbucks?
The way you said it, though, it's like someone just magically had Tom's shoes appear on them somewhere else on the other side of the country.
Like, they charged me.
A Subaru was just created when
They
you said
charged
that.
me 60 grand for my Subaru. Can you believe it? It's highway robbery. Okay.
This is a great choice, Sarah.
Thank you, I know. We've got, so the thing about this movie, just because I feel like people haven't probably seen it and aren't too familiar, if you are, let us know, please, because I'll just, you'll forever be my favorite. It's the David and Goliath of it. I love a good old David and Goliath story. It's these young kids who are all orphans. I don't know how accurate it is, but in the movie, they're all orphans. They're living, and that's how they have to kind of like pay their living in their, what do you call like a house like that? Like a
Hostel? I don't know. what
yeah,
they call
like
it,
a hostel
group
type of
home,
situation.
yeah.
Yeah, a group home, exactly. And they're treated terribly, and their wages are trash, but they gotta make a living. And if they don't sell the papers, they get beat up and they get kicked out of there, and they're homeless, right? And they
Unhoused.
decide
Unhoused.
unhoused. Sorry. It was 1899, so it was homeless.
Oh,
That's
bums.
fine. It was fine until
Okay.
2020. But it's like they decide against all. They're like, hold on a second. We're important to them. They need us to sell these papers. So we got a little bargaining power here.
Yeah.
And they decide to stop selling the papers until they'll pay them more than a penny a pape. A penny a pape, they say. We've got Carrying the Banner, Santa Fe, The World Will Know, Seize the Day, King of New York, Once and for All, and The World Will Know reprise. That's 7 bangers. This isn't all the songs. These are the hits of that soundtrack.
Damn.
7.
Cooking.
It's inspiring. It gets you going. I love it. My favorite song is The World Will Know. It's about sticking it to the man, the underdogs rising up, Christian Bale's calling the young boys to action, and they're accepting that call. They're getting the pager, they're getting the 1899, they're getting a telegraph message, but they're getting it, and they got it, and they rose up, and they won, and that's my number one is Newsies.
Amazing. I can't believe I didn't have this on my list. I was so in this phase of thinking animation that, and keep in mind, guys, I know this, I think for people that watch this pod, babe, that's an unrewarding number one because everyone's like huge on Aladdin.
I know.
Huge on Lion King.
But I had
and
to be
we
true to
feel
myself.
y'all,
I had to be
man.
true to my heart.
We feel y'all, but Newsies really had, and it's like, I didn't watch it either grown up. Sarah had to hit me to it. But if you watch it with that in mind, especially now that the culture's become a little bit more like conscious about capitalism and corporations, it makes a lot of sense. Can I say some lyrics from this song?
Oh my gosh, please. Thank you.
And the world will know, and the world will learn, and the world will wonder how we made the tables turn. These are all the Newsies grouping together to sing this. And the world will see that we had to choose, that the things we do today will be tomorrow's news. And the old will fail, and the young stand tall, and the time is now, and the winds will blow, and our ranks will grow and grow and grow, and so the world will feel the fire and finally know. Wow.
Guys.
They were in their bag.
That we got a ton of rotten fruit and perfect aim.
Like, we don't got much, but you're going to get all of it, fam.
We're going to fuck you up with this rotten tomatoes.
They were cooking, man. It really makes you feel, when you understand every Disney show is written for on its face meaning, and then a secondary meaning.
Yeah.
So
the best ones are, right?
The best ones are. It's just metaphor, right? I'm not introducing anything new here, but like the fact that the combination of them, all those kids in the street combining to overturn something that's unjust, you fall victim to, you're like, okay, I'm in. I get it. I'm with you guys,
And not to keep trying to get people to watch this, but it's like they thought there's just no way we can win this. Just like we all have at some point or another, right? You're just feeling down. You're like, there's no way I can. I'm just one person. And then you're like, oh, but then there's also that person and that person and that person and that person who's all one person. And when it all comes together, they end up kind of like getting the different people from the different boroughs, like Brooklyn and other people. And they're like, oh, there is more of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's inspiring if you look at it through that lens and don't just look at it as like some cheesy musical, but it's all in your kind of judgment, I guess.
Sarah, okay, this is great. I thought this would be a disaster, but this is great. Now here's the hard part though.
Yes.
We have to agree on a top 5. Can you name us all the ones that are on the board that we agreed on?
So far, we've got Mulan, which is great. The Lion King, which is great, easy. Aladdin, which we both love so much. Great music, easy.
I think we should decide number 5 first.
I think we should add to this list, if we may, Newsies?
No disagreement here.
Okay, so we can add Newsies.
Yeah.
So we got 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, now flip that thing. We gotta organize this.
Hold on, we need one more to add to the list of, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got to add 5, and then we can rank.
And you're not jacking Moana, huh? You're not jacking it. Damn.
What are other options? I do like Moana.
Okay.
We got Newsies, we got Aladdin, we've got Lion King, we got Beauty and the Beast.
Newsies, well, Lion King's not on there?
Lion King's on here. I was just sorry, I was reading down my list. So, so the only one that's not on here from me is Newsies, Aladdin, Lion King is. Oh, I was going to say The King and I. God, my musical theater upbringing is really showing. The King and I. What are we missing on this?
Of your list? I don't know.
Beauty and the Beast. Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast?
So we got, it's either going to be Beauty and the Beast added to this, or Moana. Now, let's go brass tacks. We got to figure out how we're going to do this.
Okay.
We didn't decide on this before.
Okay.
I'm going to read my songs, my bangers from this.
Okay.
And see if I can win by that.
All right.
Belle, which I already sang a little bit of. It's like that whole song where she's saying, I got to get out of this like boring ass town where there's nothing going on. This is the same as Newsies. She's saying, I want more. It's the same as Moana. She's saying, I want more. And everyone in this town is like, she's so weird for wanting more. And Gaston is like, oh, she's cool. I'm going to make her my wife and put her in a box, right? Did I get you?
She gets put in a box in a mansion. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, but I mean, who doesn't want a mansion box? Beauty and the Beast. So that's Tale as Old as Time.
Yes.
Angela Lansbury. This is me making my case, so really listen. We've got No One Fights Like Gaston. There's Something Strange and Almost Kind. We got Be Our Guest. That's a hit. You can't deny that. And Belle reprise and the Mob Song, which maybe less. So I've got Belle, Beauty and the Beast, Gaston reprise, Something There, Be Our Guest. So 7.
Okay.
What are your bangers from Moana, dude?
I have
2.
3, but I will say everything. You know what? Now that it's a movie podcast, I like to get off this thought, but I'll hurry. I do respect Will Smith. Think he's very talented, right? Come walk with me on this metaphor, Sarah.
Okay.
When he in Book of Eli, I'm sorry, not Book of Eli. What's the movie where he's
I
the
Robot,
last man on
I
Earth?
Zombie, I Robot.
When he's the last man on Earth. Why am I Legend of?
I didn't see it, but
What the hell? Why is it just escaping my brain? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Let me Google it.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Will Smith, I Am Legend. He has a very emotional dog scene where he has to kill his own dog because it became a zombie.
Okay.
Very emotional. Crushed it. There's a lot of things like director, music, whatever. Went to that scene. I give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
You get Tom Hanks on a deserted island with an inanimate object like Wilson in the water. Now, it has a better director. It has one of the best directors ever to live. And maybe Tom Hanks in that scenario is a better actor. But that, to me, is Coke and Pepsi, right? Tom Hanks crushed that scene. That's a 10 out of 10. He made me feel more about a volleyball than Will Smith made me feel about a dog, man's best friend.
Did you just say that maybe in that scenario, Tom Hanks is a better actor than Will Smith?
He is. I'm sorry. I'm just really worried about insulting Will Smith in any way.
Okay. I mean,
I haven't got hands like that.
all things.
To me, that same comparison about we're trying to do the same thing and evoke the same emotion is the water song from Moana and that Belle song in the beginning. They're doing the same thing, but Moana for me is crushing that idea.
You know
Belle
what?
is just showing up to play.
Okay.
But Moana crushed it. Now, if you're going to Gaston, the song Gaston, which is cool, I would say You're Welcome from The Rock, written by Lin-Manuel Miranda,
We're going head to
trumps
head.
that song every single time.
I like it.
Shiny, I think it's one of the best villain songs. It's always hard to get a good villain song. Now, I only have 3 that are top heavy from Moana. There are decent other songs. But I would put that 3 up against the Belle. 7, your argument. You make the decision. Your podcast. That's my argument, though.
I'm going to, just because I also really like Moana and I wanted it to be on my list, I'm going to acquiesce and put Moana on our list.
Wow. Huge.
I will say the reason that Beauty and the Beast made my list is because there were so many. Tale as Old as Time. It's like a classic, right? Now, Moana maybe hasn't had as much time to become a classic, so we can argue that. But because I feel really good about a lot of these being on my list, we'll give you 1.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, this is very it's
friendly.
Cohesive. And kids who are under 13 years old that might be watching our podcast, even though it's not our demo, I'm really sorry about Frozen. We just don't rock with it like that.
Yeah, it has good songs.
It has the biggest banger ever, probably, but I didn't listen to it. I don't fuck with Frozen like that. I don't let it go. Didn't do nothing for me. I'm sorry. Disclaimer. Okay.
It did do something for me, and I tell myself, let it go every day.
Okay.
So if that makes you feel any better, kids. All the kids who are listening. All right, so now we've got our top 5.
Yes. Okay, let's try to agree on a 5.
We have to order them.
Let's do it.
Number 5. I think out of these, it's either Mulan or Moana because we have great, great songs, but not a ton of them. Do you agree? It's between
Completely
these
agree.
two for
And
number
I would say
5?
because you let Moana sneak into that list, I think it sits at number 5.
Okay, cool.
Agreement there?
I agree because I like Mulan so much.
Yeah.
And I like Moana, but I really like Moana.
Okay.
Okay, so this is our final list. This is exciting, guys. This is the first time we're doing this. Okay, so I'm going to write final.
Final.
So everyone knows it's final. All right, we got 1, 2.
This is rough doing this on the cue. You're nailing it too. It looks pretty straight.
I think, except for that one.
Right when I mentioned it. I'm sorry,
Got too low. All right, we've got.
5 is Moana.
I don't think anyone can probably read my writing, but listen, we got Moana. And then I think because
I think
naturally.
you're hiding behind the board.
Okay, I'll move it. I'm just moving my laptop
Okay.
so I have a little more room. I think because number 5 was between Mulan and Moana, we can both agree that Mulan should go next.
Yes. Smart.
Look
Yeah.
at us being so friendly with each other. This is not normal.
Wait, hold
friends.
on a second.
What? No. We were
Wait,
doing so well.
I think they're gonna kill us, and maybe they're right.
Newsies?
Newsies, I know it's your number 1, but nobody likes Newsies like that.
Nope. It's because they don't know it. They don't know Mulan either.
But if you ask 100 people who are their best Disney songs, their top 5 Disney songs, 10% of them mention Disney. I mean Newsies.
I don't give a shit about those 10%.
I think Newsies
90%.
has to sit at 4, even though it's like the strongest emotion I have when I listen to those songs.
Do you really think that people know Mulan more than they like Newsies? And is this about the people or is this about our favorites?
You're right.
Hey,
You're
I
right.
won one.
All right.
Okay.
All
Well,
right.
I will now give you one, and we'll put Newsies next.
I think Newsies is 3.
So we got Mulan. I know I've said this 100 times, but I feel like a lot of people never really saw Mulan.
Yeah.
Racists.
It's not necessarily racism.
Disgusting.
Do better.
I'm
Do better.
disgusted by you. Okay.
I don't see color. Okay.
All right. Number 3.
That means number 2 has to be Lion King,
Yeah.
which gives us our number 1.
Okay. All right, guys.
We have it. That was actually pretty in order. Like we got along.
Asaad, are you looking at my number 1?
No, I can't see anything here from this angle.
Is it because you need glasses? But it says Sarah wins.
Oh, okay. All right. So wait, what was number
No,
1?
I'm just kidding. Our number one was
is
Aladdin.
I'm really impressed how we got there. And in celebration for it, me and Sarah are gonna freestyle a song from Mulan. I'm never gonna catch my breath.
Say goodbye to those who knew me. We was a fool in
This
school
is my
for
turn.
I know, but you were gonna do the voice
editing
right.
it too, so we had it perfect.
Okay.
But
Back to
yeah,
one.
no,
Back to
we
one.
ruined it. Okay.
Ready?
No, good. Okay, how do we close out this podcast? I loved this, by the way.
I loved it too. I want to do more. Do we want to see more top 5s? I think we're gonna do more top 5s.
Please
Guys.
let us know your
The
top 5
list.
in the bottom. We do read the comments. We're still very small.
Yeah, we're
and
trying
have
to get
time
better.
to read the comments when you're like, tell Asaad to shut up and just show Sarah's shoulders. We did. Look, they're right there. Okay, all right, here we go.
You said a shoulder. What's so
that was
gross
a little
about
too
that?
much. Let me know if you guys want a link to her OF.
Okay, to my OF? Oh, I'm so fucking dumb, y'all.
Sarah, thank you for doing this list with me, man. I think it was fun.
Thank you guys for listening to our list. I hope you had fun. Tell us your favorite 5. If you got a problem with us, I want to hear your favorites.
Facts. Yeah, you can't address a problem without offering a solution.
Yeah, we need a solution. I don't want to hear, oh, I didn't like Mulan. I didn't listen to that one. What about, he put Jungle Book? Come on, guys. Let's hear it. Let's hear more. Thank you for joining us at the DTF podcast. We've got our final, really quickly to recap. Number 1, Aladdin. Number 2, The Lion King. Number 3, Newsies. Number 4, Mulan. And number 5, Moana. I think that was a nice mix.
New, old, animated, real.
New, old, animated, Christian Bale. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on DTF. Bye, guys.